The less you care, the happier you get. These 7 words contain within them the entire secret of human liberation, the key to unlocking a state of consciousness that transforms your entire experience of reality. But before you misunderstand me, let me be absolutely clear about what I mean by caring. For there is a vast difference between the neurotic attachment that enslaves most of humanity and the natural flow of creative expression that emerges from a consciousness at peace with itself. When I speak of caring less, I am not advocating indifference to life, love, or creation. I am not suggesting that you become cold, callous, or withdrawn from the beautiful dance of human experience. What I am revealing to you is the secret of detachment, the art of living fully while remaining inwardly free, the practice of engaging with the world from a place of abundance rather than need, from wholeness rather than lack. You see, my friends, most human suffering stems from what I call the tyranny of outcome. We have been conditioned to believe that our happiness depends upon external circumstances aligning with our preferences, that our worth is determined by achievements, possessions, and the approval of others. We clutch at life with desperate fingers, trying to control and manipulate every situation to fit our limited conception of how things should be. And in this very clutching, in this frantic grasping, we create the very resistance that keeps our good from us. The universe operates on principles that are as immutable as the law of gravity. One of these fundamental laws is that like attracts like, that consciousness creates experience, that what you assume to be true about yourself and your world becomes your living reality. But here is where most people stumble. They assume that to manifest their desires, they must want them intensely, must care deeply about outcomes, must invest the entire emotional well-being in the achievement of specific goals. This is the great illusion, the fundamental error that keeps millions of souls trapped in cycles of frustration and disappointment. For when you care too much about an outcome, when your happiness depends upon a specific result, you are operating from a consciousness of lack, from a state of mind that says, I am not complete without this thing, this person, this situation. And the universe, being the perfect mirror of consciousness that it is, reflects back to you more of that incompleteness, more of that separation from your desired good. Let me share with you a story that illustrates this principle perfectly. There was once a man who desperately wanted to find love. He had been alone for years, and his loneliness had grown into an obsession. He spent his days thinking about the perfect partner, his nights dreaming of romance, his conversations with friends always returning to his search for the one. He joined dating services, attended social events, and approached every potential relationship with the intensity of a man dying of thirst who sees an oasis in the distance. But the more desperately he sought love, the more elusive it became. His neediness repelled potential partners. His anxiety created awkward interactions. And his attachment to specific outcomes led to one disappointment after another. He cared so much about finding love that he unknowingly pushed it away with the very force of his caring. Then one day, exhausted by his fruitless search, he decided to give up. Not in bitterness or resentment, but in a kind of peaceful surrender. He began to focus on his own life, his own interests, his own growth and development. He stopped looking for love and started living fully as a complete individual. He pursued hobbies that brought him joy, cultivated friendships that nourished his soul, and gradually discovered that he could be happy and fulfilled on his own. It was in this state of contentment, when he had genuinely stopped caring about finding a partner, that love walked into his life in the most natural, effortless way imaginable. The very thing he had desperately sought for years came to him the moment he released his grip on it, the moment he stopped needing it to be happy. This is not coincidence, my friends. This is law. This is the way consciousness works in the realm of manifestation. When you truly don't care about an outcome, when you are genuinely indifferent to whether something happens or not, you create the perfect conditions for it to manifest in your experience. But let me be precise about what I mean by indifference. For true spiritual indifference is not apathy or resignation. It is not the bitter withdrawal of someone who has given up on life. True indifference is a state of consciousness that I prefer to call relaxed allowing. It is the recognition that your happiness, your worth, your completeness as a human being is not contingent upon any external circumstance or achievement. When you reach this state of consciousness, something miraculous happens. You begin to operate from what I call the wish fulfilled. Instead of wanting something because you lack it, you express desire from a place of creative joy, like an artist who paints not because he needs to create, but because creation flows naturally from his being. You pursue goals, not because you need them to be happy, but because they represent interesting expressions of your creative potential. This shift in consciousness changes everything. When you don't need a job to feel worthy, you interview with confidence and ease. When you don't need a relationship to feel complete, you attract partners who are drawn to your wholeness rather than repelled by your neediness. When you don't need money to feel secure, you make financial decisions from wisdom rather than fear, and abundance flows to you naturally. The secret is learning to hold your desires lightly, like a child holding a butterfly. Grasp too tightly and you crush the very thing you wish to cherish. Hold with an open palm, and the butterfly may choose to stay or fly away, but either way you remain at peace. This is the art of detached engagement, the practice of caring without attachment, of loving without possessiveness. Now you might wonder how this principle applies to the deeper aspects of life, to our relationships with those we love, to our responsibilities and commitments. Does caring less mean becoming indifferent to the welfare of our children, our spouses, our consanguineous? Absolutely not. What it means is learning to love without the desperate need to control, to care without the anxiety that comes from attachment to specific outcomes. True love, you see, is not possessive. True love does not say, you must behave in a certain way for me to be happy. True love recognizes the inherent wholeness and freedom of the beloved and seeks only their highest good, even when that good might not align with our personal preferences. When you love someone truly, you want their happiness more than you want them to make you happy. This is the love that liberates both the lover and the beloved. The same principle applies to every area of life. When you care about your work without being attached to recognition or reward, you perform with excellence and joy. When you care about your health without being obsessed with every minor symptom or setback, you naturally make choices that support your well-being. When you care about making a difference in the world without needing credit or visible results, you become a powerful force for positive change. This brings us to one of the most profound aspects of this teaching, the relationship between caring and creativity. When you are desperately attached to outcomes, your creative faculties become constrained by fear. You play it safe, you follow formulas, you create from a place of trying to please others rather than expressing your authentic vision. But when you care less about how your creations are received, when you are indifferent to criticism and praise alike, you become free to create from the depths of your being. Every great artist, inventor, and innovator has understood this principle, whether consciously or intuitively. They created not because they needed success, but because creation was the natural expression of their inner state. They cared deeply about the quality of their work while remaining detached from its reception in the world. This combination of passionate engagement and emotional detachment is the hallmark of all truly creative endeavors. But how, you might ask, does one cultivate this state of consciousness? How do you learn to care less in a world that constantly tells you that everything matters, that your happiness depends on getting what you want, that you must fight and struggle and strive to achieve your dreams? The answer begins with a fundamental shift in your understanding of who and what you are. You are not a separate individual struggling to get your needs met in a hostile universe. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused through the lens of individual experience, but essentially one with a creative power that moves the stars and grows the flowers. When you truly understand this, when you feel it in your bones, rather than merely knowing it intellectually, attachment naturally begins to dissolve. This realization comes through what I call the practice of assumption. Instead of hoping and wishing for your desires to manifest, you assume the feeling of already being the person who has what you want. You don't imagine having a successful business. You assume the consciousness of someone who is already successful. You don't visualize finding love. You embody the feeling of being loved and loving. You don't dream of financial abundance. You think and feel from the assumption of prosperity. When you practice assumption consistently, something beautiful happens. You discover that the feeling of having what you want is actually more fulfilling than the physical manifestation itself. The peace, joy, and satisfaction you thought would come from external achievements are revealed to be states of consciousness that you can access at any moment, regardless of circumstances. This discovery naturally leads to caring less about whether your assumptions manifest in physical form, because you already have what you truly wanted. The feeling, the state of consciousness, the internal experience. The external manifestation becomes like a pleasant bonus rather than a desperate necessity. And it is precisely in this state of not needing the manifestation that it becomes free to appear in your experience. Consider the businessman who assumes the consciousness of success, not because he needs to make more money, but because he enjoys the feeling of creative accomplishment. He makes decisions from wisdom rather than desperation, takes calculated risks rather than fearful gambles, and treats both success and failure as temporary experiences rather than definitions of his worth. Such a man naturally attracts success because he embodies the consciousness that success seeks to express through. Or think of the woman who assumes the feeling of being deeply loved, not because she is lonely, but because love is her natural state. She radiates warmth and acceptance, draws people to her magnetic presence, and creates relationships based on mutual joy rather than mutual need. Her lack of desperation makes her irresistibly attractive to those who are capable of real love. This is the paradox that confuses the mind but delights the heart. The less you need something, the more likely you are to receive it. The less you care about impressing others, the more impressive you become. The less you demand love, the more love flows to you naturally. The less you chase after happiness, the more happiness permeates your daily experience. But let me address a common misunderstanding about this teaching. Some people interpret caring less as becoming passive, as giving up on their dreams and aspirations, as settling for mediocrity in the name of spiritual detachment. This is not what I am advocating. True spiritual indifference is not passive but powerfully active. It is not giving up but letting go. It is not settling for less but realizing that you already are enough. When you operate from this consciousness, you take inspired action rather than desperate action. You pursue your goals with enthusiasm rather than anxiety. You engage fully with life while remaining inwardly free. You become like the sun, which shines not because it needs to, but because shining is its nature. Your giving becomes natural rather than calculated. Your achievements become expressions of joy rather than attempts to prove your worth. This state of consciousness also transforms your relationship with what others might call failure or disappointment. When you are not attached to specific outcomes, these experiences lose their power to disturb your peace. They become simply information, feedback from the universe about the effectiveness of your current approach. You can adjust your methods without questioning your worth, modify your strategy without abandoning your vision. I have observed that those who master this principle often achieve far more than those who struggle and strain in pursuit of their goals. Not because they try harder, but because they try easier. They move in harmony with natural laws rather than against them. They allow success to flow through them rather than trying to force it into existence. There is also a profound social dimension to this teaching. When you stop caring so much about what others think of you, you paradoxically become much more attractive and influential. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who don't need external validation to feel good about themselves. Your lack of neediness gives others permission to be authentic around you, creating deeper and more satisfying relationships. Moreover, when you care less about being right, you become more genuinely wise. When you care less about winning arguments, you become more persuasive. When you care less about getting credit, you become more effective at creating positive change. This is because your actions are no longer contaminated by ego-driven motivations that create resistance in others. The practice of caring less also has profound implications for your relationship with time. When you are attached to outcomes, you live in a constant state of when this happens, then I'll be happy. Your present moment is sacrificed on the altar of an imagined future. But when you care less about specific outcomes, You become available to the richness of present moment experience. You discover that life is not a problem to be solved, but a dance to be danced, not a destination to reach, but a journey to savor. This shift in consciousness naturally leads to what I call effortless manifestation. Instead of working hard to make things happen, you work intelligently, allowing the universe to support your efforts. You become like a skilled sailor who doesn't fight the wind, but uses it to reach his destination. You discover that when you are aligned with natural law, the universe becomes your ally rather than your adversary. Let me share with you another illustration of this principle. There was once a farmer who worried constantly about his crops. He would wake up each morning anxious about the weather, fretting over the possibility of drought or flood, constantly checking and rechecking his fields. His anxiety was so intense that he could barely sleep or eat during growing season. Despite his vigilant attention, his yields were mediocre at best. One year, personal circumstances forced him to travel during most of the growing season, leaving his farm in the care of a neighbor. He had no choice but to let go of his obsessive monitoring and worrying. When he returned at harvest time, he discovered that his crops had produced the best yield in years. The neighbor had simply followed good farming practices without the anxiety and constant interference that had characterized the owner's approach. This farmer learned what every master manifestor knows. There is a vast difference between responsible action and anxious attachment. You can plant your seeds, water your garden, and remove the weeds without being emotionally attached to the outcome. You can do your part while trusting the intelligence of nature to do its part. The same principle applies to every human endeavor. You can prepare thoroughly for a job interview without being attached to getting the job. You can work diligently on a creative project without being attached to its reception. You can love deeply without being attached to being loved in return. This is the middle way between passionate engagement and peaceful detachment. As you begin to embody this principle, you will notice that life becomes lighter, more playful, more joyful. The heavy burden of needing everything to go your way begins to lift from your shoulders. You start to appreciate life as it is rather than constantly wishing it were different. You discover that happiness is not something you achieve, but something you are. Not something you get, but something you give. The transformation is not always immediate or easy. Most of us have been conditioned from birth to believe that our worth depends on external achievements, that love must be earned, that security comes from accumulation, that happiness is contingent upon circumstances. These beliefs are deeply ingrained and require patient, consistent work to transform. But every step you take toward caring less is a step toward greater freedom, greater joy, greater creative power. Each time you catch yourself in desperate attachment and consciously choose to let go, you strengthen your capacity for what I call divine indifference. Each time you act from wholeness rather than need, you align yourself more fully with the creative principle that governs all manifestation. The ultimate realization of this teaching is the understanding that you need nothing external to be complete, fulfilled. Everything you have ever wanted exists within you as a state of consciousness that you can access at any moment. The love you seek is your own loving nature. The peace you crave is your natural state. The abundance you desire is the infinite creativity of your own being. When this truth becomes your living reality, rather than mere intellectual knowledge, something miraculous occurs. The external world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner state of completion. Not because you needed it to, but because it is the natural law that consciousness creates experience. You discover that you were never really trying to get anything from the world. You are always trying to give something to it. And in the giving, in the expression, in the creative flow of your authentic being, all your needs are met effortlessly and naturally. This is why the less you care, the happier you get. Not because you become indifferent to life, but because you discover that life is not something that happens to you, but something that happens to you. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the conscious creator of your experience. You are not separate from the source of all good, but the very expression of that source in individual form. My friends, I leave you with this final thought. Begin today to practice the art of caring less. Start small, with minor preferences and attachments. Notice when you are gripping too tightly to outcomes, when your happiness is contingent upon specific results, when you are operating from need rather than abundance. In those moments, consciously choose to relax your grip, to trust the process, to a life to unfold naturally. As you develop this capacity for loving detachment, you will discover that you have not lost anything of value but have gained everything that truly matters. You will find that the less you care about impressing others, the more genuinely impressive you become. The less you need to be loved, the more love flows to and through you. The less you grasp after happiness, the more happiness becomes your natural state. This is not philosophy, but practical wisdom. Not theory, but living truth. Apply it consistently, and you will discover for yourself that the ancient promise is true. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom of heaven is not a place, but a state of consciousness. The consciousness of one who knows that he already has everything he needs, who cares less about getting and more about giving, who has discovered that true happiness comes not from having what you want, but from wanting what you have, not from changing your circumstances, but from changing your relationship to your circumstances. The less you care, the happier you get. Make this your practice, your path, your way of being in the world. And watch as your life transforms from a desperate struggle for happiness into a natural expression of the joy that is your birthright, your nature, your eternal, internal inheritance as a conscious being in an abundant universe. These parallel selves, these other I ams of you, are constantly reaching out, trying to communicate with you, to guide you towards your highest good, your greatest potential. They are you after all, and they want nothing more than to see you succeed, to see you manifest your deepest desires and live your most fulfilled life. But how, you might ask, can these parallel versions of you communicate across the boundaries of reality? How can they send you messages, guideposts, and signs to help you on your journey? The answer, my friends, lies in the very fabric of your daily existence, in the seemingly mundane occurrences that you might otherwise overlook. Let us delve deeper into these signs, these whispers from your parallel selves. The first sign you might notice is a sudden and inexplicable feeling of déjà vu. You find yourself in a situation that feels eerily familiar, as if you've lived it before. This, my dear listeners, is not merely a trick of the mind or a glitch in your memory. It is a moment when the veil between realities thins, and you are glimpsing a parallel version of yourself who has indeed experienced this very moment. In these instances of déjà vu, pause and reflect. What is this parallel self trying to tell you? Perhaps they are urging you to pay closer attention to this moment, to the people around you, or to the decisions you are about to make. They have lived this experience and know its significance. Trust in this feeling, for it is a sign that you are on the right path, that you are aligning with the infinite possibilities of your being. The second sign that your parallel self is reaching out to you comes in the form of synchronicities. These are those magical moments when the universe seems to align perfectly, when coincidences become too meaningful to ignore. You think of an old friend and suddenly they call you after years of silence. You need a specific piece of information and it appears before you in a book that falls open to the exact page you need. These synchronicities are not mere chance, my friends. They are the result of your parallel selves working in concert with the universe to guide you towards your desires. They are showing you that the world is far more interconnected than you might believe, that your thoughts and intentions have power beyond the confines of your immediate reality. When you experience these synchronicities, acknowledge them with gratitude. Understand that they are signposts on your journey, placed there by versions of you who have already walked this path. They are telling you to keep going, to trust in the process, to have faith in the unfolding of your desires. The third sign from your parallel self manifests in your dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so real, that upon waking you felt as if you had truly lived it? These are not mere fantasies conjured by your sleeping mind. They are glimpses into the lives of your parallel selves, windows into the realities they inhabit. In these dreams, pay close attention to the details, to the emotions you feel, to the choices you make. Your parallel self is showing you possibilities, alternatives, potential futures. They are giving you the gift of experience without the need to physically live it. Use these dreams as a guide, as inspiration for the life you wish to create in your current reality. Perhaps in your dream you see yourself confidently speaking before a large audience, sharing your wisdom and inspiring others. This is not just a fantasy, but a reality that one of your parallel selves is living. They are showing you your own potential, urging you to step into your power and share your voice with the world. The fourth sign comes in the form of sudden, unexplained emotions or mood shifts. You might find yourself overwhelmed with joy for no apparent reason, or struck by a wave of melancholy that seems to come from nowhere. These emotional surges are not random or meaningless. They are echoes of the experiences of your parallel selves rippling across the boundaries of reality to touch your consciousness. When you feel these sudden emotions, do not dismiss them or try to suppress them. Instead, sit with them, explore them. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What experience from a parallel reality am I tapping into? These emotions are messages carrying wisdom and insights from other versions of you. If you feel a sudden surge of confidence, know that a parallel self has just achieved a great victory and is sharing the triumph with you. If you feel an inexplicable sense of loss, perhaps a parallel self is going through a challenging time and is seeking your strength and resilience. In acknowledging and embracing these emotions, you create a bridge between realities, allowing for a flow of energy and support in both directions. The fifth sign that your parallel self is communicating with you is through sudden flashes of inspiration or insight. These are those aha moments when a brilliant idea seems to come out of nowhere, or when you suddenly understand something that had previously eluded you. These bursts of clarity are gifts from your parallel selves sharing their knowledge and experiences with you. In these moments of inspiration, act quickly. Write down your ideas, make plans to implement them, share them with others. Your parallel self is offering you a shortcut, a way to bypass years of trial and error. They have already walked the path and are showing you the most direct route to your desires. Remember, my dear friends, that these flashes of inspiration are not random. They are carefully chosen messages selected by your parallel selves for their relevance to your current situation and your deepest desires. Trust in them, for they are guiding you towards your highest good. The sixth sign from your parallel self comes through your physical sensations. You might experience unexplained chills, a sudden warmth spreading through your body, or a tingling sensation in your hands or the crown of your head. These physical manifestations are your body's way of interpreting the energy flowing from your parallel selves. When you feel these sensations, take a moment to center yourself and tune in. What is your body trying to tell you? Perhaps the chills are a sign that you're on the right track, that you're aligning with your highest path. The warmth might be a message of love and support from a parallel self who has overcome a challenge you're currently facing. These physical signs are reminders of the deep connection between your body, mind, and spirit, and the vast network of parallel selves that exist beyond your current perception. They are calls to pay attention, to be present in your body, and to trust in the wisdom it holds. The seventh sign manifests in the form of recurring numbers or symbols. You might find yourself constantly seeing a particular number sequence, 1111 on the clock, 333 on a license plate, 555 in a phone number. Or perhaps a certain symbol keeps appearing in your life, a feather, a particular animal, or a specific shape. These recurring numbers and symbols are not mere coincidences. They are messages encoded by your parallel selves, using the universal language of symbolism to communicate with you. Each number, each symbol carries a specific vibration and meaning. Your parallel selves are using to send you guidance, encouragement, and reminders of your infinite potential. When you notice these recurring patterns, take a moment to reflect on their meaning. What was on your mind when you saw them? What emotions were you feeling? The context in which these signs appear is often as important as the signs themselves. Your parallel selves are trying to draw your attention to something specific in your life, urging you to look deeper, to see beyond the surface. The eighth sign comes through the people you encounter in your daily life. Have you ever met someone who seemed oddly familiar, even though you're sure you've never met them before? Or perhaps you've had a conversation with a stranger that left you feeling profoundly changed. These encounters are orchestrated by your parallel selves, using the interconnected web of human relationships to bring you exactly what you need. These people are messengers, carrying wisdom and insights from your parallel selves. They might offer you advice that resonates deeply, share a story that inspires you, or simply be a presence that reminds you of your own inner strength. Pay attention to these encounters, for they are far from random. Your parallel selves understand the power of human connection, of the exchanging of energies between individuals. They are using this power to guide you, to offer you perspectives and opportunities that you might not have access to in your current reality. Be open to these encounters, engage fully with these messengers, for they are playing a crucial role in your journey of self-realization. The ninth sign from your parallel self is a sudden shift in your perceptions or beliefs. You might find yourself questioning long-held assumptions, seeing familiar situations in a completely new light, or feeling drawn to ideas and concepts that you previously dismissed. These shifts are not mere changes of mind, but rather alignments with the expanded consciousness of your parallel selves. Remember, my dear listeners, that your parallel selves have lived different lives, made different choices, and gained different perspectives. When they reach out to you, they bring with them the wisdom of their experiences. They are offering you the opportunity to expand your own consciousness, to see beyond the limitations of your current reality. Embrace these shifts in perception. Allow yourself to question, to explore, to see the world through new eyes. Your parallel selves are showing you that reality is far more flexible, far more malleable than you might have believed. They are inviting you to step into a broader understanding of yourself and the universe. The 10th and final sign that your parallel self is sending you a message comes through your own inner voice, your intuition. This is that quiet whisper within you that knows, that understands, that guides you towards your highest good. Your intuition is the direct line of communication between you and your parallel selves, the channel through which their wisdom flows most clearly. When you feel a strong gut feeling, an inexplicable knowing, or a persistent inner urging, pay attention. This is not just your own mind speaking, but the collective wisdom of all your parallel selves distilled into a single, powerful message. Your intuition is your most direct connection to the infinite possibilities of your being. Trust in this inner voice, my friends. Cultivate it, strengthen it. Learn to distinguish it from the chatter of your everyday thoughts. Your parallel selves are constantly sending you guidance through this channel, offering you the benefit of their collective experiences and insights. Now, my dear listeners, as we delve deeper into this concept of communication from our parallel selves, let us consider how we can more actively engage with these messages, how we can strengthen the connection between our current self and our infinite parallel selves. The first step in this process is awareness. Begin to cultivate a state of heightened awareness in your daily life. Pay attention to the details around you, to the subtle shifts in your emotions, to the seemingly random thoughts that flit through your mind. Each of these could be a message from a parallel self, a piece of the cosmic puzzle that is your existence. As you move through your day, hold the intention of being open to these messages. Set the expectation that your parallel selves will communicate with you, and watch as the signs begin to multiply. Remember, what you focus on expands. By directing your attention towards these signs, you are effectively opening more channels of communication between realities. The next step is interpretation. As you become more aware of the signs around you, begin to develop your own personal system of meaning. Perhaps certain numbers hold special significance for you, or specific animals carry particular messages. Trust in your own intuition to guide you in understanding these signs. Remember, my friends, that the language of the universe, the language of your parallel selves, is deeply personal. While there may be universal symbols and meanings, the most powerful interpretations will come from your own inner knowing. Trust in your ability to understand these messages, for you are, after all, communicating with yourself. As you interpret these signs, look for patterns and connections. Your parallel selves are not sending random, disconnected messages, but rather a coherent stream of guidance and wisdom. One sign may build upon another, creating a more complete picture of the path you are meant to follow. The third step in engaging with your parallel selves is action. It is not enough to simply receive and interpret their messages. You must act upon them, integrate them into your life, allow them to guide your choices and behaviors. This is how you honor the connection with your parallel selves, how you show your readiness to receive more guidance. When you receive a sign or message, ask yourself, how can I apply this in my life? What action can I take based on this guidance? Perhaps a recurring number sequence is urging you to be more patient, or a dream is encouraging you to pursue a long-forgotten passion. Whatever the message, find a way to embody it in your daily life. As you take action based on these messages, you will find that the communication becomes clearer, more frequent, more profound. You are showing your parallel selves that you are ready and willing to receive their guidance, that you are an active participant in this cosmic dance of self-realization. The fourth step in this process is gratitude. Express thankfulness for each sign, each message, each moment of connection with your parallel selves. Gratitude is a powerful force that opens you up to receive more abundance, more guidance, more love from the universe, and from all aspects of yourself. When you notice a sign from your parallel self, pause for a moment and silently say thank you. Acknowledge the effort it takes to send these messages across the boundaries of reality. Appreciate the love and support that your parallel selves are constantly offering you. This attitude of gratitude will not only strengthen your connection with your parallel selves, but will also shift your overall vibration to one of positivity and receptivity. You will find yourself noticing more signs, receiving clearer messages, and feeling a deeper sense of connection with all aspects of yourself. The fifth step is to share your experiences with others. As you become more attuned to the messages from your parallel selves, share your insights and experiences with those around you. This serves multiple purposes. First, it helps to reinforce your own beliefs and experiences. By articulating them to others, you are affirming their reality for yourself. Secondly, sharing your experiences can help to awaken others to the possibility of communication with their own parallel selves. You become a messenger yourself, a bridge between realities not just for yourself, but for others as well. In doing so, you contribute to the expansion of collective consciousness, helping to create a world more open to the infinite possibilities of existence. Lastly, by sharing your experiences, you open yourself up to learning from others. You may find that others have had similar experiences or have different interpretations of signs that you've received. This exchange of ideas and experiences can further enrich your understanding and deepen your connection with your parallel selves. The sixth step in this process is to actively seek communication with your parallel selves. While many of the signs we've discussed may seem to come unbidden, you can also take a more proactive approach in establishing this connection. One powerful way to do this is through meditation. Set aside time each day to sit in quiet contemplation. As you settle into a state of calm awareness, set the intention to connect with your parallel selves. Visualize yourself surrounded by infinite versions of you, each living out a different possibility of your life. Feel the energy that connects all these selves, the common thread of consciousness that runs through each version of you. As you hold this visualization, open yourself to receiving messages from these parallel selves. You might receive these as thoughts, images, feelings, or sensations. Trust whatever comes through, no matter how subtle or seemingly insignificant. With practice, this form of active communication will become stronger and clearer. The seventh step is to journal your experiences. Keep a record of the signs you receive, the messages you interpret, and the actions you take based on this guidance. This journal serves multiple purposes. It helps you to recognize patterns over time, to see the thread of guidance that your parallel selves are weaving through your life. Additionally, the act of writing itself can be a form of communication with your parallel selves. As you put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, allow yourself to write freely without censorship or judgment. You may find that insights and messages flow through you onto the page. Your hand becoming a conduit for the wisdom of your parallel selves. Reviewing your journal regularly can also help to strengthen your faith in this process. As you look back over your entries, you'll likely see how the guidance you've received has positively influenced your life. How the actions you've taken based on these messages have led you towards your desires and goals. The eighth step in engaging with your parallel selves is to practice lucid dreaming. As we discussed earlier, dreams are a powerful way for your parallel selves to communicate with you. By developing the ability to become conscious within your dreams, you can more actively engage with these messages and even potentially communicate directly with your parallel selves. There are various techniques you can use to induce lucid dreams, such as reality checks throughout the day, setting strong intentions before sleep, and keeping a dream journal. As you become more proficient at lucid dreaming, set the intention to meet and communicate with your parallel selves within the dreamscape. In these lucid dream encounters, you may receive direct guidance, experience alternative realities, or gain insights into your own infinite potential. The dream world is a place where the boundaries between realities are more fluid, making it an ideal environment for this type of communication. The ninth step is to pay attention to your energy levels and physical sensations throughout the day. Your parallel selves often communicate through your body, sending you messages in the form of energy surges, tingling sensations, or sudden changes in your physical state. Start to map these physical sensations to different types of messages or guidance. Perhaps a tingling in your hands indicates that you're on the right path, or a warmth in your heart chakra signifies a message of love and support from a parallel self. By becoming more attuned to these physical signs, you create another channel of communication with your parallel selves. The 10th and final step in this process is to live as if you are in constant communication with your parallel selves. Embody the wisdom they share with you. Make choices as if you have access to infinite knowledge and experience, because in truth you do. Your parallel selves are not separate from you, they are you, experiencing different aspects of your infinite potential. By living in alignment with their guidance, you are stepping into the fullness of who you truly are. As you practice these steps, you will find that the boundaries between you and your parallel selves begin to blur. You'll start to feel a sense of expansion, of limitless possibility. The challenges in your life will begin to seem less daunting, for you'll know that there are versions of you who have already overcome them, who are sending you their strength and wisdom. Remember, my dear friends, that this communication with your parallel selves is not about escaping your current reality or wishing for a different life. It is about enriching your present experience, about tapping into the vast reservoir of wisdom and potential that exists within you. It is about recognizing that you are far more than this single expression of self, that you are in fact infinite. As you open yourself to these messages from your parallel selves, You may find that your perception of time begins to shift. Past, present, and future may start to feel less linear, more interconnected. This is because your parallel selves exist across all possibilities, all time lengths. In communicating with them, you are tapping into the eternal now, the place where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Embrace this expanded perception of reality. Allow it to free you from limiting beliefs about what is possible in your life. Your parallel selves are showing you that anything you can imagine, anything you can dream, is not only possible, but is already happening in some version of reality. Your task is simply to align with that version, to bring that possibility into your current experience. As we conclude this exploration of the signs that your parallel self is trying to send you a message, I urge you to remain open, vigilant, and receptive. The universe and all versions of you within it is constantly communicating with you, guiding you towards your highest expression of self. Trust in this process, trust in yourself, trust in the infinite wisdom that is your birthright. Go forth, my friends, with the knowledge that you are never alone, that you are supported by countless versions of yourself across infinite realities. Listen for their whispers, watch for their signs, feel their presence in every moment. And as you do, know that you are awakening to the true magnitude of your being, to the limitless potential that is you.
My dear friends, we are here to explore a profound truth, a divine principle that has the power to reshape your entire existence. Tonight, we shall delve into the art of acting as you are the best. Now, let me be clear from the outset. When I speak of acting as you are the best, I am not referring to some external, worldly concept of superiority. No, my beloved, I am speaking of something far more profound, far more divine. I am speaking of recognizing and embodying the God within you, the perfect. You see, the great secret of life is this: your imagination is God. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself through you. And when you truly grasp this truth, when you fully embody it, you will understand that acting as you are the best is not an act at all. It is a revelation of your true nature. Let us begin by understanding the nature of reality. The world you see around you with all its seeming solidity is nothing but a shadow, a reflection of your own consciousness. It is a mirror showing you the contents of your own mind. And just as a mirror faithfully reflects whatever stands before it, so does your world reflect your beliefs about yourself and your place in it. So, when I urge you to act as you are the best, I am inviting you to change the image in the mirror. I am calling you to revise your concept of self, to see yourself as the divine, perfect being that you truly are. For when you do this, when you hold this image firmly in your mind, the outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match this new inner reality. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I act as I am the best when my current circumstances tell me otherwise? Ah, my dear friends, this is where faith comes in. Not faith in some external deity or power, but faith in the God within you. Faith in the power of your own imagination. You must dare to assume the feeling of being the best, even when all external evidence contradicts it. Remember, the evidence of your senses is nothing but the fruit of past beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the past. But you, my beloved, are not bound by the past. You're free to plant new seeds, to imagine a new self, a new reality. Let me share with you a fundamental law of minds. What you assume, you become. Your assumptions have persisted in, hardened into fact. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the creative power of God working through you. When you assume the feeling of being the best, when you live from that state, you are literally reshaping your reality at its most fundamental level. Now let us explore how to put this principle into practice. The key lies in what I call the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter into the state of consciousness of already being best. Feel it, live it, breathe it. Make it so real, your imagination, that it becomes impossible to tell where imagination ends and reality begins. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself as the absolute best in your field, in your relationships, in your spiritual life. See yourself moving through the world with the confidence and grace of someone who knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are the best. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the deep sense of fulfillment that comes with this state. Use the crucial parts. You must maintain this feeling. You must live from this state. When you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you. Let it infuse every aspect of your life. Speak as the best would speak. Move as the best would move. Make decisions as the best would make them. You may ask, but Neville, isn't this deception? Am I not lying to myself? My dear friends, nothing could be further from the truth. Remember, your imagination is God. When you imagine yourself as the best, you are not creating a fantasy. You are recognizing a divine truth that has always existed. You are letting go of the illusion of limitation and embracing your true, limitless nature. Consider the words of Scripture. Be ye perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is not a command to strive endlessly for an unattainable ideal. It is a recognition of what you already are. You are made in the image and likeness of God. Perfection is your true nature. Being the best is your birthright. Now let me address a common misconception. Acting as you are the best does not mean comparing yourself to others or seeking to outdo them. Remember, there is only one God, one consciousness, expressing itself through all. When you truly embody being the best, you recognize this same divinity in all beings. You lift others up, for you understand that their success is your success, their joy is your joy. This understanding leads to a profound shift in how you move through the world. Instead of competing, you collaborate. Instead of seeking to prove your worth, you freely express your gifts. You become a channel for the divine, allowing the infinite creativity of God to flow through you unimpeded. Let us now explore the practical aspects of living from this state of being the best. It begins with your self-talk, the inner conversation you carry on throughout the day. Most people, unaware of the creative power of their words, constantly affirm their limitations and shortcomings. They say things like, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's too hard for me." But you, my dear friends, knowing the truth of who you are, must vigilantly guard your inner conversation. Speak to yourself as you would speak to the best. Encourage yourself, uplift yourself. Remind yourself of your divine nature. Let your inner dialogue be a constant affirmation of your perfection and power. Remember, your inner conversations are the fabric from which your reality is woven. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And make no mistake, these seeds will grow. They will bear fruit in your external world. So choose your inner words wisely, lovingly, powerfully. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Surely you might think, I can't just imagine being the best. I must do something to make it a reality. And you are right, action is important. But understand this. Inspired action flows naturally from a changed state of consciousness. When you truly embody the state of being the best, you will find yourself naturally taking actions aligned with that state. You won't have to force yourself to work hard or make difficult choices. The right actions will come to you effortlessly, joyfully. There's a natural expression of your new self-concept. This is the meaning behind the scriptural advice to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom of God is not some far-off heavenly realm. It is a state of consciousness. The state of knowing yourself as one with God is the best expression of divine perfection. When you seek this state first, when you live from it consistently, everything else falls into place. Now, let us address the challenges you may face as you embark on this journey of acting as you are the best. There will be times when the old patterns of thought and behavior try to reassert themselves. There will be moments when the evidence of your senses seems to contradict your new self-concept. In these moments, you must stand firm in your faith. Remember, the outer world is nothing but a shadow, a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power over you unless you give it power. Your task is to remain faithful to your vision, to a new concept of self. This is what it means to live by faith and not by sight. It is a commitment to your imaginal acts, a steadfast loyalty to the God within you. For remember, your human eyes may see lack, limitation, and failure, but the eye of God, your imagination, sees only perfection, abundance, and success. Let me share with you a powerful technique to strengthen your faith and deepen your embodiment of being the best. Each night, as you lie in bed drifting off to sleep, create a scene in your imagination that implies you are living as the best. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were actually happening. Perhaps you imagine yourself receiving an award for being the best in your field. Feel the weight of the award in your hands. Hear the applause of the audience. See the smiles of your loved ones. Or perhaps you imagine a quiet moment of deep satisfaction, knowing that you have given your absolute best and achieved remarkable results. Whatever scene you choose, replay it in your mind as you fall asleep. For in that drowsy state, between waking and sleeping, your subconscious mind is most receptive. It will accept the imaginal scene as reality and begin the work of bringing it into manifestation. Do this night after night, and you will be amazed at how your outer world begins to conform to your inner vision. For you are engaging in the highest form of prayer, the prayer of assumption. You are assuming the state of being the best, and in doing so, you are calling it forth into manifestation. Now let us address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. If I am to act as I am the best, does that mean I should ignore my current shortcomings or areas where I need improvement? This is a profound question and it deserves a careful answer. The truth is, acknowledging areas for growth and acting as you are the best are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are two sides of the same coin. When you truly embody the state of being the best, you naturally seek growth and improvement, not from a place of lack or insufficiency, but from a desire to more fully express your divine nature. Think of it this way. A master musician, acknowledged as one of the best in the world, still practices daily. A champion athlete at the peak of their game still trains rigorously. They do this not because they doubt their abilities, but because they are committed to expressing the fullness of their potential. So yes, by all means, identify areas where you can grow and improve, but do so from the state of being the best. Approach your growth not as a struggle to overcome deficiencies, but as an exciting opportunity to express more of your innate perfection. Remember, you are not becoming the best. You are the best, here and now, by virtue of your oneness with God. Any growth or improvement is simply a more complete manifestation of what already exists within you. Now, let us explore the ripple effects of acting as you are the best. When you embody this state, you become a living example of what is possible. You inspire others to recognize and express their own divine nature. You become a light in the world, illuminating the path for others. This is the true meaning of leadership. It's not about holding a position of authority or having others follow you. It's about being such a pure expression of your divine nature that you naturally uplift and inspire those around you. As you act as you are the best, you will find your relationships transforming. People will be drawn to your energy, your confidence, your joy. They will sense the God within you and respond to it with their own higher nature. You will find yourself surrounded by others who support and encourage your growth, who celebrate your successes as their own. In your work, you will find a new level of creativity and productivity. Ideas will flow to you effortlessly. Solutions to problems will present themselves with surprising ease. You will approach challenges, not with fear or stress, but with excitement and confidence, knowing that within you lies the infinite wisdom and power of God. Your health and vitality will improve as you align more fully with your divine nature. Remember, your body is a perfect reflection of your state of consciousness. As you embody the state of being the best, your body will naturally move towards its optimal state of health and well-being. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we discuss these principles. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, If I act as I am the best, won't I become arrogant or egotistical? This is a common concern, but it stems from a misunderstanding of what it truly means to be the best. True greatness, my dear friends, is inherently humble. When you truly recognize and embody your divine nature, you simultaneously recognize this same divinity in all beings. You understand that your greatness is not personal. It is the greatness of God expressing itself through you. This understanding leads not to arrogance, but to a deep sense of gratitude and reverence for life. You become filled with a desire to serve, to share your gifts, to lift others up. For you recognize that in doing so, you are serving and uplifting God. So as you act as you are the best, do so with humility and love. Let your greatness be a gift to the world, a channel through which divine love and creativity can flow. This is the true meaning of being the best. Not to stand above others, but to stand as a clear expression of the divine, inspiring others to do the same. Now let us talk about persistence. Acting as you are the best is not a one-time event. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It is a continuous choice, a moment-by-moment decision to align with your true nature. There will be times when it feels challenging. There will be moments when the old patterns of thought and behavior try to reassert themselves. In these moments, you must persist. Remember, you are retraining your mind, rewiring your consciousness. This takes time and consistent effort. But here's the beautiful truth. Every time you choose to act as you are the best, every time you align with your divine nature, you make it easier to do so in the future. You are creating new neural pathways, new patterns of thought and behavior. Over time, being the best becomes your natural state, requiring no effort at all. So persist, my dear friends. Be vigilant in guarding your thoughts and assumptions. Be steadfast in your faith, even when appearances seem to contradict it. For remember, what you persist in assuming must invariably come to pass. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Acting as you are the best is not about achieving some future state of perfection. It's about recognizing and expressing the perfection that already exists within you, here and now. You are not becoming the best. You are the best by virtue of your oneness with God. Your task is simply to remove the veils of limiting beliefs and false assumptions that have hidden this truth from you. As you do this, as you consistently act from the state of being the best, you allow more and more of your divine nature to express itself in your life. Remember, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of spirit, in the imagination of God, all is now. The best version of you already exists, complete and perfect. By acting as you are the best, you are simply aligning your human consciousness with this eternal truth. So I urge you, my beloved friends, go forth from this place with a new understanding, a new commitment to living as the divine being that you are. Let every thought, every word, every action be an expression of your best self. Live from the state of being the best. And watch and wonder as your world transforms to match this new state of consciousness. For you are the operant power in your life. You are the God of your universe. As you think, as you feel, as you assume, so shall your world be. Therefore, assume the best, feel the joy and confidence of being the best, and your world will have no choice but to reflect this back to you. I remind you of the words of Scripture. I and my Father are one. This is not a statement of future possibility, but a recognition of eternal truth. You are one with the creative power of the universe. You are the best because you are an expression of the best, the divine, perfect, limitless God. So go now and live from this truth. Act as you are the best, not as a performance or a pretense, but as a revelation of who you truly are. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the path for others. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a clear and perfect expression of God in this world. Remember, your imagination's God. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, use it powerfully. Imagine the best, feel the best, be the best. For that is what you are now and always. Thank you, and may your journey of self-discovery and divine expression be filled with joy, wonder, and infinite possibility. As we conclude our exploration of acting as you are the best, I want to emphasize the transformative power of this practice. By consistently embodying your highest self, you set in motion a series of events that will reshape your entire world. Remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. As you maintain the feeling of being the best, your circumstances will inevitably align with this new self-concept. This journey of acting as you are the best is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, times when the old patterns of thought attempt to reassert themselves. In these moments, stand firm in your conviction. Return to your imaginal acts, to the feeling of being the best. For it is your persistence in maintaining this state that will ultimately bring it into full manifestation. As you continue on this path, you will find that being the best becomes effortless. It will no longer feel like an act, but a natural expression of who you truly are. You will move through the world with grace and ease, knowing that you are a perfect expression of your life will become a living testament to the power of imagination and the truth of your oneness with God. Remember, my dear friends, that in acting as you are the best, you're not only transforming your own life, but you are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. For we are all one, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. As you rise, you lift others with you. Your light shines not just for you, but for all who cross your path. So go forth now, embodying the truth of your divine nature. Act as you are the best, not from a place of ego, but from a deep recognition of your oneness with God. Let every thought, every word, every action be a reflection of this truth. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a clear and perfect channel through which the infinite love and creativity of God can flow into this world. Remember, you are the best because you are God expressing as you. Now go and live from this glorious truth. My dear friends, the theme of our discourse is thus, you lack focus, not potential. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness, for they hold the key to unlocking the infinite power that resides within you. Many of you come here tonight feeling trapped, limited, or unfulfilled. You look at your lives and wonder, is this all there is? You compare yourselves to others who seem to have achieved more, accomplished greater things, or found deeper satisfaction. And in doing so, you fall into the trap of believing that you somehow lack the potential. But I say to you with absolute certainty that this belief is nothing more than an illusion. It is a veil cast over your eyes by the world of appearances, obscuring the truth of your divine nature. For you see, my dear friends, you are not merely human beings having a spiritual experience. You are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as such, your potential is as vast and limitless as the infinite mind of God itself. The great secret, the transformative truth that I wish to impart to you tonight is this. Your problem is not a lack of potential. Your problem is a lack of focus. For it is through the power of focused imagination that we shape our reality, that we bring forth our desires from the realm of possibility into the world of physical manifestation. Consider for a moment the nature of your own consciousness. Is it not true that whatever you hold in your mind, whatever you focus your attention upon, becomes your reality? When you dwell on thoughts of lack, you do not experience lack in your life. When you focus on feelings of inadequacy, does not the world reflect that inadequacy back to you? But equally, when you direct your mind towards thoughts of abundance, does not abundance begin to flow into your life? When you focus on feelings of love and joy, does not the world become a more loving and joyous place? This, my friends, is the law by which all creation operates. It is the principle that underlies all manifestation. Imagination is the very fabric of reality. It is, as William Blake so beautifully expressed, the divine body in every man. When you imagine, you are literally tapping into the creative power of the universe itself. You are engaging in the same process by which God created the world. For what is God, if not the eternal dreamer, forever imagining new forms and experiences into existence? But here is where so many of you falter. You allow your imagination to run wild with fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs. You focus on what you lack, on what you fear, on what you believe to be impossible. And in doing so, you use the very power that could liberate you to further ensnare yourself. The solution, the path to freedom and fulfillment, lies in learning to focus your imagination. It lies in disciplining your mind to dwell not on what is, but on what could be. Not on your current limitations, but on your infinite potential. Not on your fears, but on your deepest desires. Then let's share with you a fundamental truth. The world you see around you, the circumstances of your life, are nothing more than our pictured imagination. They are the result of where you have been placing your focus, consciously or unconsciously, up until this very moment. If you find yourself dissatisfied with your current reality, know that you have the power to change it. Not through effort or struggle in the outer world, but through a shift in your inner focus. For the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state of being. To those who would protest, saying, "But Neville, I have tried to imagine better things for myself. I have tried to focus on what I want, and yet nothing has changed," I say this: your failure is not in your ability to imagine, but in your ability to persist in that imagination. For you see, the creative power of imagination operates by a principle of gestation. Just as a seed planted in the ground does not immediately spring forth as a fully grown tree, so too must your imagined reality gestate in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind before it can manifest in your outer world. This is where focus becomes crucial. It is not enough to imagine your desire once or twice and then return to your habitual patterns of thought and feeling. You must learn to dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire. You must make your imagined reality more real to you than the world of appearances that surrounds you. How, you may ask, can one accomplish this? The answer lies in the practice of what I call the law of assumption. To bring about the fulfillment of your desires, you must assume the feeling of their fulfillment now. You must live from the end, experiencing in your imagination the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours if your desire were already realized. This, my friends, is the true meaning of faith. It is not a blind belief in something outside of yourself. It is the absolute conviction in the reality of your imagined state. It is the unwavering focus on the truth of your desire, even when all outer appearances seem to contradict it. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the lack of money in your current reality, to worry about bills, to stress about how to make ends meet. But this focus only serves to perpetuate the very state you wish to escape. Instead, I urge you to shift your focus. Imagine what it would feel like to have all the money you desire. Feel the sense of ease, of freedom, of generosity that would be yours in that state. Don't just think about it. Experience it. Make it so real in your imagination that you can feel the crisp bills in your hands. Hear the sound of coins clinking in your pockets. See the abundant balance in your bank account. Main crucial part. Maintain this focus. Return to this imagined state again and again, especially when the outer world tries to pull you back into the old patterns of lack and limitation. For it is through this persistent focus, this unwavering assumption of the wish fulfilled, that you impress your desire upon the subconscious mind. The subconscious, my friends, is the true secret of creating reality. It is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your imagination take root and grow. It knows no limitations, no impossibilities. Whatever is impressed upon it must, by the very law of your being, be expressed in your outer world. But remember, the subconscious does not respond to occasional, half-hearted impressions. It responds to dominance, to the thoughts and feelings that you persistently entertain. This is why focus is so crucial. It's through focused, persistent imagination that you dominate the subconscious. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds like mere fantasy. How can simply imagining something make it real? To this I say, look around you. Everything you see, every invention, every institution, every work of art began as an idea in someone's imagination. The clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, the very building within. All of these were once mere figments of someone's imagination before they became physical realities. You see, imagination is not fantasy. It is the very substance of reality. The world of imagination, as Blake said, is the world of eternity. It is the divine, eternal realm from which all things proceed. When you imagine, you are literally tapping into the creative power of the universe itself. But here's where many of you stumble. You allow the so-called facts of your current reality to dictate what you believe is possible. You look at your bank account, your relationships, your circumstances, and you say, this is reality. This is what's possible for me. But I say to you, these are not facts. They are simply the effects of your past focusing. The only true fact in this universe is that all things are possible to the one who believes. And belief, true belief, is nothing more than focused imagination. When you can imagine a state so clearly, so persistently, that it becomes more real to you than your present circumstances, then you have truly believed. And when you have truly believed, you have set in motion the forces that will bring about the manifestation of your desire. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of the biblical injunction to pray without ceasing. Prayer is not begging or beseeching an external God. Prayer is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is the assumption of the state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already realized. And to pray without ceasing means to maintain this state, to focus on it persistently until it becomes your dominant state of consciousness. Now, I know that for many of you, this level of focused imagination seems difficult, perhaps even impossible. You are so accustomed to reacting to your outer world, to letting your thoughts and feelings be dictated by circumstances, that the idea of consciously choosing and maintaining a state of consciousness seems foreign. But I assure you, it is not only possible, but it is your natural state. It is the way you were meant to live. The difficulty you experience is simply the result of habit, of years or even lifetimes of misdirected focus. But habits can be changed. Focus can be redirected. And as you do so, you will discover a power within you that you never knew existed. Let me share with you a technique that I have found to be immensely powerful in developing this focused imagination. I call it the art of revision. At the end of each day, before you sleep, take a few moments to review the events of your day. But here's the crucial part. Don't simply recall what happened. Instead, revise those events in your imagination to align with your desires. Did you have a difficult conversation with a colleague? Revise it. Imagine the conversation going exactly as you would have wished. Feel the harmony, the mutual understanding, the positive outcome. Did you receive news that seemed to contradict your desires? Revise it. Imagine receiving news that perfectly aligns with your wishes. Feel the joy, the excitement, the sense of fulfillment. As you practice this technique, you will begin to realize a profound truth. The past is not fixed. It is not immutable. The past, like the present and the future, exist only in your imagination. And what exists in imagination can be changed by imagination. By revising the events of your day, you are literally rewriting your past, and in doing so, altering the trajectory of your future. But revision is not merely about changing specific events. It's about changing your entire concept of self. For you see, my friends, your concept of self is the foundation upon which your entire reality is built. Change your concept of self, and you change everything. Most of you have a concept of self that is based on your past experiences, on the opinions of others, on the limitations you've accepted as truth. But I say to you, this concept of self is nothing more than a habit of thought. It is not your true self. Your true self is the God within you, the infinite creative power that can assume any state, any concept, any identity it chooses. So I urge you, revise not just the events of your day, but your entire concept of self. Imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. Feel what it would feel like to be that person. Experience the world from that state of consciousness. Do this persistently with unwavering focus. And you will be amazed at how quickly your outer world begins to reflect this new concept of self. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about action? Surely we need to do something in the outer world to bring about our desires. And to this I say, action is necessary, but it is not the cause of your manifestation. Action is the effect. When you have truly assumed the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled, when you have focused your imagination with such intensity that you are living from the end, appropriate action will flow naturally and effortlessly from that state. You see, the outer world is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back to you your own concepts, your own focused imagination. Change the inner, and the outer must change in response. This is the law. This is the way creation works. First in imagination, then in reality. But let me warn you, this work of focused imagination is not always easy. It requires discipline. It requires persistence. There will be times when the outer world seems to contradict your inner assumptions, when circumstances appear to deny the truth of your imagined state. These are the moments that test your faith, that challenge your focus. It is in these moments that you must redouble your efforts. When the world says no, you must say yes with even greater conviction. When circumstances seem to deny your assumption, you must affirm it with even greater intensity. For it is through this unwavering focus, this persistence in the face of apparent failure, that you impress your desire upon the subconscious mind with sufficient force to bring about its manifestation. Remember, my friends, the time it takes for your desire to manifest in the outer world is in direct proportion to the naturalness of your feeling. If you can make your imagined state feel natural to you, if you can dwell in it with ease and familiarity, it will manifest quickly. But if it feels unnatural, if you struggle to maintain the feeling, then the manifestation will be delayed. This is why it's so important to choose your desire wisely. Don't focus on what you think you should want or what others tell you to want. Focus on what truly resonates with your deepest self. For when your desire aligns with your true nature, maintaining the feeling of its fulfillment becomes effortless. It feels natural because it is natural. It is the true expression of who you really are. Now, let me address a question that often arises when I speak of these principles. Many ask, but Neville, what about other people? Can we use this power to change others or to make them do what we want? There's no other. In the absolute sense, there's only one consciousness, individualized in what appear to be separate beings. When you change your concept of another person, when you revise your interactions with them in your imagination, you are not manipulating them. You are simply awakening to a new aspect of yourself. For every person in your world is yourself pushed out. They are playing the part that your concept of them has assigned. Change the concept. This understanding liberates you from the need to change others through external means. It frees you from blame, from resentment, from the feeling of being a victim of circumstances or of other people's actions. But when you truly grasp that your outer world is simply your inner world outpictured, you realize that you have the power to change anything and everything by changing yourself. But with this power comes responsibility. For as you begin to grasp the creative power of your focused imagination, you must also realize that you are responsible for everything in your life. Every circumstance, every relationship, every experience is the result of your own imaginal acts. This can be a sobering realization, but it is also incredibly empowering. For if you are the creator of your reality, then you have the power to recreate it in any way you choose. So I urge you, my dear friends, to use this power wisely. Use it to create a life of joy, of abundance, of love. Use it to uplift not only yourself, but all of humanity. For as you raise your own consciousness, you raise the consciousness of the entire world. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not a place you go to, but a state you enter. And you enter it through the portal of your focused imagination. Heaven is simply the realization of your heart's desires. It is the state of consciousness in which all your wishes are fulfilled. You do not need to die to enter this kingdom. You do not need to wait for some future time. You can enter it now, in this very moment, by shifting your focus from what is to what could be, from your current limitations to your infinite potential. Imagine, if you will, that you are already the person you wish to be. Feel the feelings you would feel if all your desires were fulfilled. Experience the joy, the gratitude, the sense of wonder that would be yours in that state. Do this not once, not twice, but constantly. Make it your habitual state of consciousness. As you do this, you will begin to notice changes in your outer world. At first, they may be small, a kind word from a stranger, an unexpected opportunity, a moment of perfect synchronicity. But as you persist in your focused imagination, as you maintain your assumption of the wish fulfilled, these changes will grow larger and more frequent. People will begin to treat you differently. Opportunities will seem to fall into your lap. Circumstances will align in ways that seem miraculous. And all of this will happen not because the outer world has changed, but because you have changed. You have shifted your consciousness. And in doing so, you have shifted your entire reality. But remember, my friends, this is not about escaping reality. It's about creating reality. It's about recognizing your power as a creative being and using that power consciously and deliberately. It's about taking responsibility for your life and shaping it according to your highest vision. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the operant power in your universe. You are the author of your life story. And with focused imagination, you can write any story you choose. So I challenge you, starting from this moment, to become more aware of where you are placing your focus. Notice the thoughts you habitually think, the feelings you consistently feel. Are they aligned with your desires? Are they perpetuating states you wish to move beyond? If you find that your habitual thoughts and feelings are not serving you, change them. Use your imagination to create new thought patterns, new emotional states. Imagine the best possible outcome in every situation. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled in every moment. This, my dear friends, is the practice of living from the end. It is the art of making your desired future so real, so vivid in your imagination that it becomes your present reality. It is the secret to unlocking your infinite potential. As you leave here tonight, I want you to remember this. You are not lacking in potential. You are lacking in focus. Your potential is as vast as the universe itself, as infinite as the mind of God. But that potential remains dormant until you awaken it through the power of your focused imagination. So focus, my friends. Focus with all the intensity you can muster. Focus on your desires, on your goals, on the person you wish to become. Make them so real in your imagination that you can taste them, touch them, feel them. Let them become more real to you than the world of appearances that surrounds you. And as you do this, know that you're engaging in the highest form of prayer. You are communing with the divine creative power within you. You are aligning yourself with the very force that creates worlds. Do not be discouraged if results do not appear immediately in the outer world. Remember, there is often a time lag between your imaginal act and its physical manifestation. This is the season of growth, the period of gestation. During this time, you must hold fast to your assumption. You must persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when all outer evidence seems to contradict it. For it is your persistence, your unwavering focus, that impresses your desire upon the subconscious mind with sufficient intensity to bring about its manifestation. It is your ability to maintain your chosen state of consciousness, regardless of outer circumstances, that determines the speed and certainty of your manifestation. As you go forth from this place, I urge you to make this practice of focused imagination the central pillar of your life. Let it inform every thought, every action, every moment of your day. Wake in the morning with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Go through your day maintaining that feeling. Fall asleep at night still dwelling in the state of your realized desire. Do this, and you will set in motion forces beyond your current comprehension. You will align yourself with the creative power of the universe. You will tap into potentials you never knew you possessed. Remember, my dear friends, the world is your mirror. It can only reflect back to you your own concepts, your own focused imagination. So make sure that what you're putting out is what you want to receive back. Focus on love, and you will experience a world filled with love. Focus on abundance, and you will live in a world of plenty. Focus on joy, and your life will become a celebration. The choice is yours. The power is yours. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. You are limited only by your ability to imagine and your willingness to persist in that imagination. I say to you one final time, you do not lack potential. You lack focus. Sharpen your focus. Direct your imagination. Persist in your assumption of the wish fulfilled. and you will unlock potentials within yourself that will astound you. You will create a life beyond your wildest dreams. For you are not merely human. You are divine. You are a creative force personified. You are God in action, imagination in motion. Embrace this truth, live from this understanding, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Go now and create the life you desire. Go now and fulfill your divine potential. Go now and remember always, to imagine is to create, to focus is to manifest, to persist is to achieve. Thank you, my friends. May your imagination be fertile, your focus unwavering, and your manifestation swift and joyous. Good night, and God bless you all. As we conclude this transformative evening, I want to leave you with a final thought. A seed to plant in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Everything you've heard tonight, every principle I have shared, every technique I have taught, all of it comes down to one fundamental truth. You are the creator of your reality. This is not a metaphor. It is not a feel-good affirmation. It is the literal, absolute truth of your existence. Every circumstance in your life, every relationship, every experience is the result of your focused imagination. You've created it all, whether consciously or unconsciously. And if you have the power to create, you have the power to recreate. You have the power to reimagine, to refocus, to reshape every aspect of your life. This is the promise and the challenge that lies before you. As you step out into the night, as you return to your homes and your daily lives, I urge you to carry this truth with you. Let it infuse every moment of your day. Let it guide every thought, every word, every action. This tool is your creation. And if you can create it, you can uncreate it, you can reimagine it. You can transform it through the power of your focused imagination. When opportunities arise, recognize the manifestations of your own creative power. They are the universe responding to your focused imagination, bringing into your experience the people, circumstances, and events that align with your assumed state. And when doubts creep in, when the old habits of thought try to reassert themselves, stand firm in your new understanding. Remind yourself, I am the operant power in my universe. I am the author of my life story. I have the power to rewrite any aspect of my life that does not serve my highest good. My dear friends, you stand at the threshold of a new life, a life of conscious creation, a life of deliberate manifestation, a life where your outer world perfectly reflects your inner state of being. The key to this new life is focus, sharp, unwavering, persistent focus on the states you wish to embody, on the life you wish to create. It's not enough to dabble in these principles, to practice them occasionally or half-heartedly. You must make them the foundation of your existence. The lens. As you do this, you will begin to experience what can only be described as miracles. Synchronicities will abound. Desires will manifest with startling speed and precision. You will find yourself living in a world that seems tailor-made for your joy and fulfillment. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. As you awaken to your creative power, you also awaken to your role as a co-creator of our shared reality. Your thoughts, your imaginal acts don't just affect your personal experience. They ripple out into the collective consciousness, shaping the world we all inhabit. So I urge you, use this power wisely. Use it to create not just personal abundance, but collective prosperity. Use it to foster not just individual happiness, but universal joy. Use it to manifest not just your own dreams, but a better world for all. For in truth, there's no separation. There's no you and other. There's only the one consciousness expressing itself through seemingly individual forms. As you raise your own consciousness, you raise the consciousness of all humanity. As you fulfill your own potential, you help all of humanity fulfill its potential. This, my friends, is the ultimate purpose of the principles I've shared with you tonight. Yes, they can bring you personal success, wealth, love, and all manner of worldly achievements. But more than that, they can awaken you to your true nature as a divine creative being. They can restore you to your rightful place as a conscious co-creator of reality. So go forth from this place with a new understanding of who you are and what you're capable of. Go forth with the knowledge that you lack nothing, that all the power of the universe resides within you, waiting to be awakened through your focused imagination. Remember, the only limits that exist are those you accept in your own mind. The only barriers to your success are those you create through your own habitual thinking. Break free from these self-imposed limitations. Shatter these illusory barriers. Claim your birthright as a limitless divine being. Focus your imagination on the highest, the best you can conceive. Then go even beyond that. For your potential is truly infinite. Your capacity for growth, for achievement, for love, for joy knows no bounds. You are not here to live a life of quiet desperation. You are not here to simply survive, to merely get by. You are here to thrive, to create, to express the full magnificence of your divine nature. So dream big, my friends. Imagine boldly, focus intensely, persist relentlessly. For in doing so, you are fulfilling your divine purpose. You are bringing heaven to earth. You are creating the life you were always meant to live. And know that as you do this work, as you embark on this journey of conscious creation, you do not walk alone. The entire universe conspires to support you. All of creation aligns to manifest your focused imagination. You are supported. You are guided. You are loved beyond measure. So go now with my blessings and with the full power of your own divinity. Go and create miracles. Go and live the life of your dreams. Go and fulfill your infinite potential.